You're your own athlete. I used to call people corporate athletes. Whether you have a job, work in corporate America, run a business, like you're a corporate athlete. You know what it's like to be an athlete and get yourself excited and get yourself riled up and get yourself motivated to go out and perform and to do something. Well, that's what it should be in our everyday lives, right? We don't get enough of it. We don't get enough of the energy. Energy rules the world. We don't get enough of the intentional motivation, inspiration side of things. We live our lives very much so at the same energy level. But if we raise that energy level, this is a Tony Robbins tactic. You raise that energy level, right? Your motion creates emotion. Motion creates emotion. So the more that you start moving yourself, moving your emotions, moving your body, you get new feelings. Thoughts start to change. That's what happens. So, again, I hope you started picking some of this stuff up. I hope you understand the message behind today. Suffering is a part of the process, suffering is a part of the journey to getting to greatness, to designing your ideal life, to getting to the life you don't need a break from. There is a sacrifice and a suffering that must happen. Adversities will come, is what we talked about on Monday, the adversities. But again, you just have to know this is a part of the process. Don't wish this stuff away. Again, great Jim Rohn quote, don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. And so this is your opportunity to get better. This is your opportunity to get better. Jordan Peterson in that video talked about, right, we're meant to climb. We're meant to climb. These are similar messages. John Maxwell talks about everything worthwhile is uphill. This metaphor of you climbing the hill, of you climbing the mountain, of you getting to your greater self, your better version of yourself, the life you don't need a break from, that place, it's going to require you to work. Climbing that mountain requires you to be mentally prepared, physically prepared, emotionally prepared, spiritually prepared, have the proper tools. The higher up you go, the harder it gets, which means you need to retool, recalibrate, refocus. Like that's the analogy. That's our life. That's our life. It's putting us in a position, it's putting us in a position to grow the capacity we need to handle the life that we're asking for, right? That's what I want you to take from today's video. I want you to be able to take in the fact that suffering is part of growth, and this has to be your attitude. This has to be how you think about life. Remember, if you change your thinking, you change your life. So if this isn't how you think, if you've been accustomed to thinking a different way, if you've been programmed to think that you should have a plan C, D, E, F, G, that you only give, right, like a little bit of effort so you're not overly disappointed. You don't try, you don't get too vulnerable because your feelings might get hurt or whatever. Like, whatever the thoughts you have about the areas you want to grow in, they may need to change. You may need to get to a place, like it says here in the text, 177 mental toughness secrets. You may need to get to a place where where you never say die. All right, where like you're never gonna quit the game. You're never gonna stop trying. No matter what life throws you, no matter what haymakers life throws you, no matter what setbacks, no matter what challenges, no matter what the enemy tries to do, no matter what, you've already committed to saying, like, I'm not going out that way. I'm not dying. How much of this do you have in your own spirit currently? Right? How much do you have this? Is this the way you operate? Is this the way you operate in relationships? Is this the way you operate in your finances, in your business, in your health, in any of the areas that are important to you? Have you made these types of commitments? Here's what it says in the text, y'all. It says the middle class will persist until they become uncomfortable. All right, let's just stop at that first sentence. Most people, the masses, will persist. They'll do something until it becomes too uncomfortable for them. Then they go back into comfort. That video I showed you of Mav Carter talking about the fact that our brains are wired for comfort. Like we're programmed for comfort. Everything we do, from the temperature in our house to the clothes to the food we eat to the people we spend time with, the choices, all the stuff is around comfort. So most people don't push past that level of comfort. But the key to being successful is learning to be uncomfortable. So again, here it says the middle class will persist until they become uncomfortable, but the upper class will persist until it becomes painful. The world class never says die. Like the world class is just going to keep going. Champions are comfortable being uncomfortable because they've grown so accustomed to risk that feelings of vulnerability almost seem natural. Champions don't even begin to pay attention until they feel pain, which they expect to feel on a regular basis. Champion cyclist Lance Armstrong says racing doesn't even get interesting until it becomes what he calls a sufferfest. Even the upper class cannot compete with the world class because while good performers have a deep desire to win, the great ones are committed to winning. The distinction between the two thought processes is substantial. Failure to manifest the vision is not an option. Champions will do it or die trying. The mantra they love to espouse is whatever it takes. The great ones are masters of self denial, suffering, and sacrifice. They do it all to live their vision. If you're going up against the great ones, you better pack a lunch. It's going to be a long afternoon. Whatever it takes is the mantra. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes to get healthy, whatever it takes to keep my marriage, whatever it takes to build financial freedom, whatever it takes, like just whatever it takes, that becomes how you live your life. It's not just, I'm going to try this. It would be nice to do this until it gets too uncomfortable, until I lose too many relationships, until I take 5 steps backwards financially, until, right, I run into this challenge in business. Then I'll reevaluate. I'll go to plan B or C or D. A lot of people live their life that way. For us, for people that want to go and design your ideal life. Remember, that's what you're here for. You're here for better. You're here for, like Jordan Peterson just showed you in the video, what's up the hill, what's up ahead, the big, glorious vision that you might not even be able to get to. But the fact that you are progressing, progress equals happiness. The fact that you are moving in that direction, the fact that you have something that's pulling you and the person you are becoming in order to get there is this process, right? That's what we're doing. So because this is the place that we're going, and again, not everyone wants to go there. I get it. Not everyone wants to go up the hill. People are okay at their level of the mountain that they want to be on. But if you want to keep continuing to go up the hill, whatever that looks like in your life, then we have to start making some commitments to saying, well, whatever it takes then. It's not that you just have a deep desire to win, you're committed to winning, whatever that looks like in your life. You're committed to it. Commitment is a decision that you make, it's not a feeling that you have. It's what the guy said in the video. He was like, you can't live your life based on your feelings. You'll never get anything done. You'll never get to the place you want to get to. Your feelings are up and down, your feelings are fleeting. The heart is deceiving, right? Your feelings, they don't necessarily matter when you are going after the life you don't need a break from. You're going after the thing up the hill. That's a commitment. That's a decision to say we're going to climb the hill, right? And so this becomes a mindset, y'all. Everything starts in the mindset. Everything starts in how you think about things. So we have to have now maybe shape a different relationship with discomfort. Seeking discomfort. You know, you hear me say it all the time. Push yourself out of your comfort zone. I end a lot of these calls by saying, what? Do something that scares you. Do something that pushes yourself out of your comfort zone. I am encouraging you to put yourself in more uncomfortable situations for your own growth, for your own benefit, for the man or woman you're going to become by being more uncomfortable, by having more uncomfortable conversations, by not just being around people that you like all the time or that you see eye to eye with all the time, but people that maybe have different viewpoints and you can have intellectual conversations about the ways you think, your perspectives. That's very uncomfortable. If you want to get better in your health, we've talked about this. Get around people that are healthier, but like spend time there. Don't just like talk to them once a month and then go back to your habits. Like try to put yourself in their world, try to get around them. Ask them to go to dinner more often. You have a neighbor, you have friends, that you have coworkers, you have people that you think are healthier than you and you're in a health journey. Well, maybe you should go reach out to them. Maybe you should get yourself around them. If you go out and eat with them a couple times, you're going to see what they order and you're going to see what you order. And eventually it'll change. Is that might be doing whatever it takes. That might be super uncomfortable for you. You might have never stepped out of your comfort zone in that way to ask another person for help or right in some area that you admire them. Maybe that's your discomfort that you have to go through. I'm not sure, but you got to have the mindset of whatever it takes, y'all. That's the key. It's the mindset of whatever it takes. We're never going to say die. It's going to be uncomfortable. The mindset is that it's going to get harder, that you are going to have to suffer. But after you've suffered a while, right? After all of these trials, after all the stuff, the man or woman you will be, it will be something you're proud of. It'll get you further up the mountain. You'll achieve more of the things you want. You'll feel more of the things you want because of who you've become. Now what you have, just who you've become to go through it. That's the message. That's what we got to work on. I know sometimes this stuff is hard, y'all. Never said it was going to be easy. Never said it was going to be easy to get to a life you don't. Again, I joke about this, but most people don't know anyone that has the life that they actually want. Like you don't physically know them. You might think you know them. You might see them on social media. You might see them on television. Someone might have told you about them. You might know them from afar and you see they do some things. But like most people don't actually know, like have friends or close acquaintances that live the life that they want to live, that have the things that they want. And so the things you're designing, the things you're developing, the things that you have to grow to become, likely the people around you don't have it, don't know, but you can take little pieces and always remember the mindset of success leaves clues. So if someone is successful in the area you want to be successful, they're doing something different than you. And it's going to be uncomfortable to change that. But the more you're willing to get uncomfortable, the more you're willing to live in discomfort, the more likely you are to become that person or to get that thing or to become that. I hope we understand that message because this is like the crux of like personal growth, personal development. Like when it gets hard, you can't quit. It's supposed to be hard. When it gets too uncomfortable, like you can't stop. Once you made the decision to start the business, you had to know it was going to be hard, right? Like you had to know you weren't going to make $1 million in a month, right? Like you had to think, or maybe you didn't. Maybe you didn't know it was going to be hard. So this is a better conversation to know that like all the things you want, John Maxwell, all the things you want are uphill. All the good things, they're up the hill. They're not down the hill. They're up the hill. So if you're not growing, you're slowly dying. But champions never say die. So that's why we keep climbing that hill, y'all. Here's what it says in Walter Payton has this quote says, never die easy. Why run out of bounds and die easy? Make that linebacker pay. It carries into all facets of your life. It's okay to lose, to die, but don't die without trying, without giving it your best. Hit life back. If life is hitting you, hit life back. Don't go out easy. Keep standing back up. Make it a tough fight. Make it a tough fight for the adversary. Make it a tough fight for the enemy. Like, don't make it easy. Don't make it easy. But you got to never say die. Action step for today says, ask this critical thinking question. How committed am I to achieving my ultimate vision? Are you really willing to do whatever it takes? That's the question, y'all. How committed are you to achieving your ultimate vision? Again, this is supposing you know what your ultimate vision is. You understand where you're headed. You understand what's up the mountain. You've taken time to say, this is who I want to become. These are the things I like to see, have, be, do, all the stuff that you have an ultimate vision. Then asking yourself, how committed are you to it, really? Is it just, it would be nice to have, it would be cool if I have, but if you don't, I have everything I need right now. Like, again, these aren't bad things. You just have to be honest with yourself. of like how committed are you to what you say you want? And are you really willing to do whatever it takes? That's moral, legal, and ethical, right? But are you willing to do whatever it takes to get that vision? So again, it says, if so, know you're on the right track. If not, chances are you've settled for second best in your vision. Doesn't have sufficient emotional energy to motivate you through the tough times that will undoubtedly occur. So if the latter is the case, do some soul searching and rewrite your vision. Odds are that you will need a world-class emotional energy to bring your dream into reality. What did we start this call with earlier? I said energy runs the world. You got to get to that emotion. You have to have the energy to go after your dreams. You have to have energy to go after your goals. You have to have energy to become the man or woman God called you to be. It takes energy to do those things: emotional, mental, physical energy to go after it. Get yourself clear this week. Get yourself clear on what it is you're going after, what sacrifices you need to make, where you're willing to suffer, what you need to go off and do to make your vision a reality. I love you guys. I want you to win. You deserve it. Your families deserve it. If nobody tells you, I'll always tell you, you deserve to win. You just got to be intentional. You got to go out and make this thing happen. You got to go out and do the work. It's never going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. Keep climbing that mountain.